Every cheese has its own story. Cheese is made with 4 ingredients, 5 for blue. Milk, salt, rennet, and the cultures. We have so many kinds of cheese. The difference is who makes it, where it's made, what the sheep eat. They're as individual as the people who make them, and that's the joy of it. I'm Marianne. I work for Heritage Cheese. We're based in Borough Market. We were started in 2017 with the specific goal of promoting British and Irish artisan cheese. The idea was always to work directly with the people who make it and help them get their story out. If you come to us, it's not that you buy cheddar, you buy Quicks cheddar. You don't buy a goat's cheese, you buy Corleggy. For the producers who make it, they get the full value of all of their work and their effort, whereas if you sell your milk into factories, you get very little money. It is something that's done on such a small scale that if you don't promote it and if you don't love it, it becomes not viable. Slow Food has a big focus on unpasteurized cheese. Small cheesemakers and small producers care incredibly deeply about what they make. So they want the cheese to arrive tasting as beautiful as they know that it can. And making unpasteurized cheese is part of that process in terms of supporting traditional cheese making. If that's part of the tradition, that should be celebrated. The British cheese scene, I'm happy to say, is flourishing. You have companies like Quicks who've been farming for 500 years. They make very traditional cheddars, so 18-month mature cheddar. They also make whey butter. So you take the curds, you make the cheese, and the whey is a byproduct. It is very labor intensive. You don't get a lot of butter for the amount of effort you put in. Quicks have been keeping this going. It has an amazing richness. You have then smaller producers that have come onto the scene recently, and you have a lot more farmers who maybe initially would have sold their milk looking at things like cheese production and reviving traditional methods. We work with Cropwell Bishop, who are traditional Stilton makers. As well as making very traditional products, they branched out and came up with Boville, which is a soft blue cheese. What is very interesting about it is you have people who are keeping very traditional recipes alive, but they're not afraid to innovate. We work with the Cornish Gouda company. They're originally from the Netherlands and they moved to Cornwall. Initially they were having problems because they were selling their milk and they were not getting enough money to keep the farm going. And he came up with the idea of making Gouda. We went to visit them and their cows are like beside the house. The milk has nearly walked feet in to make the cheese. They understand their milk, they understand the time of year. They have control over this whole process. So it's incredibly personal then to them. We have recently started working with some charcuterie producers. Cheese and charcuterie have quite a close relationship in that charcuterie relies on slow fermentation, similar to cheese. Tempus in particular have a focus on animals that are older because you get more flavour. They use ex-dairy cattle, animals that wouldn't go into the food production. But it does take more effort. Before refrigeration and before mass production, this is how you took all of this amazing milk and the meat, and this is how you kept it so that you had all these delicious things that your land produced. Anybody who wants to find out more about British cheese, British charcuterie, the first thing I'd say, come and talk to us. If you're in London, come visit us. Go and talk to your local cheesemonger. Go and talk to your local charcuterie maker, your local deli. Come down and get a little bit of really good cheddar, a really good bit of really good Stilton, and even if it's a small bit, you'll have more joy out of that than you will out of a huge block of vacuum sealed plastic cheddar.